Officer Colonel Kimberly Cowden and Major Ernest Urquieta. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Fowler and remain standing for presentation of the colors and playing of the national anthem.
Let us pray. O God, our help in ages past, our hope in years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. We come to this day of celebration, this day of honoring this man and his family, this man who has served honorably and well for 26 years of service. And so we stop and pause and thank you for his service and his dedication to his country. We ask your blessings upon this time together. We thank you that family can gather together and celebrate with their son, their father. Thank you, Father, for allowing them this time to rejoice as a family. We ask your blessings as we continue in this time together, courage and strengthen, and in every way bless this family as they come to this exciting point in their life. These things we pray in your holy name. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Stand by. Coat. Stand up. Port. Honk. Forward. Honk. Go. Halt. Present. Honk. Port. Honk. Colors. Colors turn. Honk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The following is a letter addressed to Major Ernest M. Urquieta from Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief, United States Army. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. I have remarks to be read today on behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Gollenhorst, the DCO for 1st Engineer Brigade, who was unable to attend today's ceremony. Colonel Colleton, distinguished guests, sappers, and friends of Major Urquieta, thank you for joining us today for this joyous yet bittersweet day of saying congratulations, thank you, and goodbye for now to a fellow engineer and good friend, Major Ernest M. Urquieta. When I began collecting my thoughts about what I'd share with you today, the three things that came to mind about Major Urquieta were sapper, leader, and trainer of men. These three things embody what I found to be most prominent in Ernest's career and how I think he'll be most remembered. When you read through his biography that you can find in this program, you'll see there is no start and stop point with these three themes. So with this brief introduction, I begin with sapper. Ernest began his career, like many of us in the room, right at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, as both a trainee and later a 12 Bravo squad member or sapper within the 5th Engineer Battalion. Ernest, no doubt, demonstrated the potential that we desire in our young soldiers. His personal drive, attention to detail, and unwavering loyalty are traits that we likely brought with him from his humble upbringing, but were further ingrained in him as a young engineer soldier by the leaders that molded him. These qualities gave him a sound foundation to be successful, and he never departed from them. Ernest truly embodies the motto of a 1st Engineer Brigade, Sappers First, as he has always been and will always be a sapper at heart. Leader. While never forgetting these humble beginnings of where he came from, you can see that young sapper Urquieta moved steadily through the ranks, learning the leadership skills that he would build upon over the years from sapper team leader, squad leader, and platoon sergeant. The positions of importance that he would never forget and always work to support and develop throughout his career. Young engineer leaders. While his role as a leader in the U.S. Army would continue to grow throughout those years at Fort Stewart and Fort Bragg, it really seems to take root here at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. While as a drill sergeant, senior drill, and first sergeant within the initial entry training environment, Sergeant Urquieta at the time made a direct and indirect impact on countless engineer soldiers and leaders. Sergeant Major Toby Cameron, a prime example of a professional senior enlisted engineer leaders, recently commented on Major Urquieta's inspiration that he personally provided him and so many others that Ernest will never even know. That raw leadership and inspiring nature that Sapper Urquieta had then and still maintains today was exactly what our regiment was looking for back in the mid-90s, and why he is likely selected to become a sapper leader instructor. One of the NCOs that attended the course back in the day when Sapper Urquieta was an instructor relayed a story about being pulled to the bottom of the Lake of the Ozarks by a 100-pound class rock inside his punch strap, and sapper instructor Urquieta pulled him out of the water, and all he said was, "Can you complete the event, sapper?" Ernest has always been about accomplishing the mission, but don't let that teddy bear fool you. He also has the biggest heart of all and truly cares about others, those senior to him, those around him, but especially those who fell under him. Ernest would continue to refine his leadership abilities as a non-commissioned officer while constantly challenging, demanding, and investing in others, whether that be his fellow cadre or the sappers that he trained. That brings me to trainer of men. While Ernest continued as a sapper and as a leader throughout the remainder of his career until this very day, I must transition to this final phase which again has no start or stop to it. After officer candidate school, Ernest would transition to become a commissioned officer and take all that he learned as a young soldier and experienced NCO and apply himself as what I'll call a seasoned platoon leader at Fort Lewis, Washington. This is another location which the U.S. Army truly benefited from his faithful service. The soldiers and engineer leaders there were truly blessed to have him as part of our team. I was merely a young captain and junior company commander, and I welcome the sage advice that Ernest provided to myself and others, officers and NCOs of the company. While he had so much to offer, he also never overstepped his bounds, never challenged authority, but focused on training his men. As both a striker platoon leader and later company commander at Joint Base Lewis McChord, Ernest would train up and deploy into combat with our nation's sons, which is something he never took lightly. While deployed to Mosul, Iraq, with our 73rd Engineer Company, however, Ernest's 3rd Platoon always seemed to make the most contact with the enemy while on an assigned route clearance missions. He would leave no unfamiliar rock left unturned along the route, nor shy away from taking the fight to the enemy. I have no doubt that he demanded the same as a company commander of a striker company of his own in southern Afghanistan. He led his men to conduct our engineer mission in support of the maneuver commander in combat. That's exactly what he has always trained to do and what he would continue to train others to do for the remainder of his career. Lastly, I'll end with a brief reflection of the time that Major Kidd finished out with here at Fort Leonard Wood. This is where he got his start and again where he helped so many others get theirs. As I returned to Fort Leonard Wood late in my career timeline to get KD time as an S3 executive officer of the 169 Engineer Battalion, I was blessed to find out that I would be able to once again serve alongside Ernest, now as fellow field grades, as he became the S3 of the 554 Engineer Battalion. Major Kieta once again continued to make a tremendous impact, as he always has, on the future of our Army and Engineer Regiment. With his leadership and operational experience, Ernest ensured that the Engineer Basic Officer Leader course and other courses under 554 Engineer Battalion, to include the Sapper Ranger train-up, were mentally challenging, physically demanding, and preparing our junior engineer leaders to head out to the force and train and lead soldiers. I could go on, but I hope that you get the general idea here. Many of you could come up here and join me and probably more eloquently share the impact Ernest has had on your lives and others. I thank you for sharing these few minutes with me as I reflect on the incredible impact that he's made on mine. Sapper, leader, and trainer of men, Major Ernest M. Urquieta. It has been my pleasure to serve with you, learn from you, and to watch you serve others. Thank you for your leadership, your example, and your selfless service to our nation, our Army, and our regiment. May God continue to bless you in all that you do. I look forward to getting our families together once again down in Arizona, your final permanent change of station. Enjoy this time of retirement, my friend, as it has been hard-earned, but very well deserved. Essayons, Sappers first, Sappers lead the way. Lieutenant Colonel Ladies and gentlemen, the presiding officer, Colonel Kimberly Cowlton.
Good morning. Ernest, thank you for letting me preside over your ceremony today. And I am very fortunate to be the senior engineer officer present today that gets the privilege to be here and preside over Major Urquieta's retirement from the United States Army. And first, I'd like to recognize his immediate family, his wife Freddie, his daughter Sunny Rose, his son Tank, otherwise known as Ernest Jr. Let him run everywhere, Freddie. He should do what he wants. He'd be happy to celebrate this day. Don't worry about disrupting us. We'll carry on. He's a pleasure to watch. and his daughter Sierra, who is in Missouri and was not able to be here today. His father, Neto, and I'd like to mention and recognize his grandmother Lola, who passed away in 2012. However, I know that she is surely here in spirit, as I understand that she has had a profound impact on Ernest's life and really shaped the person that he is today. And I thank all of you in this room for being here. You're a part of Ernest's life, and a real measure of his success. One of the things a mentor of mine would talk to me many, many years ago was that when it comes time to depart the Army, and we all will find ourselves at some point departing the Army, is that you don't want to look around and find out that you're here by yourself. And sometimes as good soldiers, we give so selflessly to the Army and don't look up from what we're doing, the tasks that we're focused on, and we lose our balance and our grounding forces. And faith, family, and friends, all of those I can see here in this room represented. And I know that, Ernest, you have that balance and those grounding forces with the people that are present here with you today to celebrate this. We are all gathered here today to celebrate a milestone career achievement for Ernest. A retirement is a huge accomplishment and one that should be celebrated. We're here to honor Ernest, a soldier who has dedicated the past 26 years of his life defending our country and our freedoms. And although I've not served in the same unit or at the exact same time as Ernest over the last 26 plus years, we've served in the same engineer regiment. And we have served in a number of the same places, Fort Bragg, Fort Leonard Wood, and Joint Base Lewis McChord. And at all of those places, and throughout the regiment, he has been known well by his exemplary reputation of being tough, delivering excellence, and selflessly dedicated to service. And I would hear this from many, officers, non-commissioned officers, and soldiers alike. Ernest told me when we spoke about his father's urging him to go find his way. And then back in 1988, at the young age of 20, he strongly encouraged him to join the Army. And then he left home and started on this journey of a career soldier. Over 26 years later, he's returned home, a mature man, and yes, after many injuries and many surgeries, but with many extremely valuable experiences that will benefit him in this next journey after retirement. Major Urqueta now stands before us as not only a field-grade officer, but also an accomplished soldier. And while that fact may seem obvious, you can read the program, as was mentioned in his biography, to see how much of a soldier Ernest was. And so in doing that, it dawned on me that the word soldier, and it's funny because I picked up a couple things that were repeated in Colonel Billinghurst's words, that soldier was the perfect word to describe who and what Ernest is at his retirement today. And soldier describes Ernest in a way that encompasses all that he is. So, as Colonel Billinghurst did, I started with the letter S, stands for sapper. A sapper, sometimes called a pioneer or a combat engineer, is a soldier who performs a variety of military engineering duties, such as bridge building, laying or clearing minefields, demolitions, field defenses, general construction, as well as road and airfield construction and repair. They do it all. They are also trained to serve as infantry in defensive and offensive operations. And Ernest was an instructor, as you heard and as you know, and a leader at the U.S. Army Sapper School at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And he taught the craft of sapper. A qualified sapper ranger, air assault, pathfinder, and jump master, he was the right guy with the right skills to train our nation's sappers. The letter O in soldier stands for officer. Ernest served in an outstanding manner as a non-commissioned officer, and prior to earning his commission as a second lieutenant through officer candidate school. And I'll tell you, this is a very competitive process. And he is retiring as a field grade officer today, which is a distinguished rank. A senior rank not easily achieved, and it comes with additional responsibilities and authorities. And in this capacity, he served as the battalion operations officer and executive officer for the 554th Engineer Battalion, and the chief of the Engineer Basic Officer Leader Force at Fort Leonard Wood, where he had the responsibility, and I'd say the awesome responsibility, for training all of our new young engineer officers. And this is something all of you should and he should be very proud of, and really those young officers that were shaped by Ernest and are his legacy. While serving, he earned a bachelor's degree and also a dual master's degree, and that's an accomplishment as well. The L in Soldiers for Leader. Ernest has been a leader, as was stated by Colonel Gollinghurst, and served in leadership positions throughout his career in the Engineer Regiment and the Army. Team leader, squad leader, platoon sergeant, first sergeant, drill sergeant, platoon leader, company commander. Because of his leadership, hundreds of young men and women were prepared to survive the rigors of combat. The D in Soldier is for dedication to duty. He's been the epitome of dedication to duty, taking on all the toughest assignments and enduring tremendous hardship and separation from friends and family while serving away from all of you. The I in Soldier is for intense. And no, I'm not referring to going camping intense, but intense. And Ernest is a tough character, and he has high standards, and he's upheld and asked others to uphold those high standards. And he has had many surgeries and is still going strong. He stands his ground when challenged and sternly defends that which he knows to be right. The E is for excellence. As you see by the many ribbons and medals on his chest and listed, and the awards he has received, specifically 2 Bronze Stars and the Regimental Award of the Bronze de Fleury, excellence is his standard. He has performed with excellence, surrounds himself with people of excellence, and is willing to learn from making mistakes and has the confidence to share his knowledge with those around him, making everyone better. The last R in Soldier is for respect, something that Ernest gets and gives wherever he goes. In my opinion, it is Ernest's respect for other people that is the quality that is often missing in today's world. He is highly respected across the regiment as a professional, both tactically and technically, and he is proficient in all that he has done. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the man who comes before us today to retire as a soldier of the highest caliber. Thank you, Ernest, for what you have given to our Army and for all you have done on behalf of a grateful nation. We hope your future is as bright as your past, and that life gives you everything you dreamed of. Keep leading, coaching, teaching, mentoring, and influencing. You really have a knack for it. And in closing, let me offer you these last words. As you retire, keep a firm grip on your perspective towards life and those things that ground you. Life is not measured so much by the quantity of days, but their quality. Bring all to bear upon the coming days of your life so that each day will be the fulfillment of a hope and a dream. Fill your days with the beautiful memories and joyful moments. Don't retire from life, but continue to experience all that life has to offer you. As you retire, continue to share your wisdom and your knowledge. See the gift of retirement as a gift of new horizons. I wish you abundance of good luck and pray that God continues to bless you and your family. Essay on.
We are here today to honor Major Urquieta, who has completed over 26 years of honorable service to our nation. First Lieutenant Ritz will now join the presiding officer as she presents awards and the retirement certificates to Major Urquieta and family. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Attention to orders. The Meritorious Service Medal for exceptional meritorious service while assigned in positions of increasing responsibility and culminating as Chief of Engineering at the Basic Officer Leadership Course for the Department of Instruction, United States Army Engineer School. Throughout 26 years of service, Major Urquieta has provided soldiers and families with unlimited support and care while leading by example without regard to personal hardship or risk. He has displayed an exceptional ability to command, engineer, and support units alike. Major Urquieta's exemplary leadership is in keeping with the finest traditions of the military and reflects great credit upon himself, the 1st Engineer Brigade, the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence, and the United States Army. Signed, Leslie C. Smith, Major General, U.S. Army, Commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Major Urquieta will also receive the following certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America and an Army lapel pin. To all who shall see these presents greetings. This is to certify that Major Ernest M. Urquieta, having served faithfully and honorably, is retiring from the United States Army effective the 31st day of December 2014. Signed, Raymond T. Odierno, General, United States Army Chief of Staff. Major Urquieta will now be presented a folded American flag. Mrs. Urquieta will receive a spouse certificate of appreciation from General Raymond T. Odierno. To all who shall see these presents greetings. This is to certify that Frederica Urquieta, on the occasion of the retirement of her husband from the United States Army, has earned grateful appreciation for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Her unfailing support and understanding helped make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Signed, Raymond T. Odierno, General, United States Army, Chief of Staff. Major Urquieta's children will receive certificates of appreciation signed by the Director of Training and Leader Development, United States Army Engineer School, in recognition of their faithful love and support given to their father, Major Ernest M. Urquieta. Few will ever know the true sacrifices made by the spouses and children of soldiers. The many times they have endured their father's absence has helped guarantee the freedom of the United States.
He likes being on stage. He's not shy. Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, awards from the Cyber Leader Course will now be presented to Major Ernest M. Urquieta with a token of appreciation. An RB3 paddle is being presented.
So I'm going to read the inscription on here, which, whoa, sorry about that. Of course, you know this is the Sapper tab, but it says, to Major Ernest M. Urquieta, from the instructors at the Sapper Leader course. Once an instructor, always an instructor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major Retired Ernest M. Urquieta.
I'm not one to prepare speeches, but I first of all want to thank Luke Air Force Base, Colonel Collington and the Corps of Engineers, of course, Adam, and for all the hard work that you've done. And LT, thank you very much for all the hard work they put together to put this thing together. There's so many people that I want to thank. First of all and foremost, I want to thank my dad for guiding me throughout my life, in and out. You made a big impact on my life to get me straight, to get me disciplined, not get me stuck in the mine after, you told me I got 1 year and then I'm firing you, you were true to your word. So I truly appreciate that. To my cousin Ray, who set the example in the Marine Corps, that led me walking across the Marine Corps and then get denied by the Marine Corps because of my legs. And then, of course, I didn't hear the end of it from my cousin Ray. So thank you. You setting the right example for me to move along after your 20-year career as well in the military. There's just so many people to thank. Officer Lucas, I don't know, it's fate. Officer Lucas, I was 8 years old when I met Officer Lucas, and it wasn't on good terms. Officer Lucas was a police officer in Superior, Arizona when I got in fights or when I took something that I wasn't supposed to. One time he put me in his police car and he told me, hey, you got a better head on your shoulder than that. So make sure that you use it positively. And I did. So hopefully, Officer Lucas, I want you to know you made a great impact on my life and you kept me straight where I am today. Coach Ben Arredondo, who is not here, also had a huge impact in my life as far as providing me with scholarships or getting me scholarships into Division I schools, guiding me throughout my career as a football and wrestler. So I just wanted to say thank you to Coach Ben Arredondo. To all my family members, Uncle Mitchell, Aunt Lupe, Tia Renee, my sister Sandy, my brother Ronnie, my cousin Randy and his wife Michelle, Mr. and Mrs. Pena, Ray, Henry Pena, the Encinas, Richard, Amanda, Patrick and his wife Amy, and my cousin Chris, to Gabriel, Matt, to Kathy, Terry, Lynn, Chris, my cousin Debbie, who's always been a rock for me whenever I need it. Thank you for all your support. And most importantly, to my friend Vince, who is, I don't know if you guys seen this guy right here, but Vince is actually my age, and he looks like he's 14. I just want to know what water he was drinking. Thanks. It's great. To the Ochoas, number one and foremost, you guys, thank you very much for the last 2 years of your assistance, for always being there. Danny, for putting me in for the Grand Marshal for the Phoenix Veterans Day Parade. I was kind of upset at the beginning, but it was definitely an honor. I just wanted to come home and sleep. Danny, you had this thing where I came home to work, so thank you. And Norma. Gary, thank you for all the fun times that we shared together. I can go on and on. I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. This makes me very happy that I'm able to do this with my family. And last but not least, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Freddie, who has held the fort down when I wasn't here for the last 2.5 years. She is...
Yeah.
So she has managed to get this guy and keep him without me getting emotional. She has helped me, she has raised him, my son and our daughter, by herself for the last 2 years. And for those of you that are mothers or parents, that's really hard. So, especially being a military family, which, unfortunately, she didn't go through the deployments to Afghanistan, or fortunately, she didn't go through the deployments to Afghanistan or Iraq, but we had the longest deployment since the day we were married. So now we're really we're starting to get to know each other. So it's been great. So, sweetie, thank you, number one. And then the last thing I would like y'all to do is help me wish my wife a very happy birthday. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize or at least mention all the officers, the NCOs, the soldiers that are at Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Bragg, Fort Lewis, McCord. It's just been a great journey. I've made a lot of mistakes throughout my life. I've been able to capitalize on those mistakes and turn them into positive effects. I've also learned tremendously from the people that I surround myself from Patrick and Richard and Ray, from my dad, my Uncle Mitchell, the Peñas, the family, Senator Peña. Both family comes from a long line of senators within the Peña family. And of course, just all my friends. So I thank you all very much. Now, I got a lot of integrating to do. I need to learn how to be a civilian. Unfortunately, I don't really want to do that now. But my wife the other day got in my face and told me, "You are not in the Army no more." I will try to better myself. So I just wanted to tell you thank you. I think this is the first time in probably 30, maybe 35 years that we've had both this much of my family together in one room, so that I can remember. So I want to tell you guys thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love every single one of you. Ronnie, thank you for all the tough love as a kid, and I'll get you back later. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, my family, for yours. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll finish the ceremony and have reception. Thank you.
Just